The instant he burst out laughing, something inside me went quiet. He tapped his glass against the table, grinning at his friends like he'd just delivered the joke of a lifetime. "There he is," he announced, pointing straight at me. "The guy who still can't keep a job. Must be tough living off charity." Their laughter rolled through the restaurant, sharp, practiced, hollow. I didn't flinch. Didn't blink. I just watched my ex-wife's new husband, a bank manager in a bargain suit and an even cheaper ego, mock a man he thought was beneath him. He had no clue who I truly was. No idea what I owned. And absolutely no understanding that with that one idiotic comment, he'd effectively signed his own termination. Sarah, my ex-wife, used to say she loved my calm. Said I never lashed out, never raised my voice, never rushed a choice. She once called it my strength until the day she decided it meant I lacked ambition. Then came her new husband, Cameron. He became everything she thought I wasn't: steady paycheck, manager label, the illusion of stability. He fed her insecurities, and she mistook his control for drive. Snorts. I watched her drift away like someone convinced she was moving upward, not realizing she was stepping into a cage. The divorce was clean, cold, final. She walked out believing she'd traded up. I let her believe it. I didn't argue when she said, "I hope you figure your life out." I didn't tell her I already had. 3 months later, I learned the truth behind their little comedy routine. Cameron wasn't just mocking me that night, he'd been telling the same story to all his co-workers. How I was some jobless failure waiting for luck to rescue me. He even told Sarah I only pretended to be intelligent but couldn't land a real paycheck. The irony nearly made me laugh. I never flaunted my wealth, never waved around what my father left me, never bothered to explain that the real estate firm I supposedly worked with was just a shell managing dividends from my investments. And most importantly, I never told anyone that the bank Cameron bragged about relentlessly was actually part of my holding group. He operated a branch. I owned the board. But betrayal doesn't lie in the action alone, it's rooted in intention. And he intended to humiliate me. So I decided to return the courtesy. Rushing revenge is wasteful. Precision is better. First, I attended 3 board meetings quietly, gathering every performance report tied to Cameron's branch. His numbers were average at best. Staff turnover was high. Multiple complaints about his temper. He wasn't a leader, just a liability with a title. Perfect. Next, I requested internal surveillance footage for security evaluation. What I truly wanted was proof of how he acted when he assumed no one was watching. It was even worse than the rumors: mocking customers, insulting junior employees, speaking about women as if they were property, and occasionally using bank resources for personal favors. Every clip, every timestamp, every violation, saved, organized, ready for the day I would step into his world not as a bystander, but as the man holding the axe. Running into him at the restaurant was pure coincidence. His laughter just moved up the schedule. 2 days later, I arranged an unannounced branch inspection. Mandatory. When I walked in, his face drained of color. He recognized me, but only as Sarah's ex. He had no idea my name was the one printed on every quarterly shareholder report he'd skimmed past. I sat in his office, closed the door, and set the folder on his desk. "Do you know," I asked quietly, "what arrogance looks like from above?" He swallowed. Then I showed him. One by one, I placed every document, every screenshot, every video still in front of him. With each page, he paled further. "This," I said softly, "is why you're finished." His breath faltered. "You can't fire me." "I already have," I replied. "This is just a courtesy." I watched recognition crash into him. Watched humiliation swallow the same mouth that once mocked me. His buddies from that night, the 2 loan officers and the teller, were also on the list. All dismissed. All escorted out. All speechless. Sarah called me later that evening. Her voice trembled. "Why? Why would you do this?" I didn't answer the question she asked. I answered the truth. Because he thought I was weak. Silence. A long, suffocating silence. "You never told me who you really were," she whispered. "I did," I said. "You just never believed it." I don't celebrate revenge. I carry it out calmly, cleanly, precisely. Some men roar to prove their strength. I prefer to let consequences speak. And that day, they spoke louder than any insult he ever threw at me.